Afternoon, Ben. Good to see you again.
Now then, likewise. Spring is upon us.
Spring is here. And you've got some interesting stuff to talk about again,
Yes.
so I will let you crack on.
So it starts with the three things today are little lambs. Little lambs can tell you quite a lot. Then the normal talk about Coccidiosis and Nematodirus, and then a bit of Haemonchus. That's just what's crossing the table. So to start with, the little lambs. Little lambs, I think, can tell you a lot. Post-mortem examination, or even cursory brief post-mortem of little lambs, tells you quite a lot, because all the things that they die of are quite easily found. The most important non-infectious disease, I think, and there's a lot of it, is exposure, starvation, mismothering syndrome. And basically the lambs die of starvation or chilling because they're empty. Now, that might be the fault of the ewe or hog, and if it is, you need to know that, because that hog or ewe, if it cannot manage to rear a set of twins, you do not want it and you need to cull it. Next slide shows that some ewes just are not meant to be mothers, like some humans. Do you know what I mean? So now is the time to identify those and get rid of them for next year. Mark them permanently so that they go. Point number 2 is this is the time of year, obviously, for coccidiosis and nematodirosis. Hopefully, the nematodirus peak might have been and gone. It's been a mild, dry spring. There have been weather conditions, which has been cold followed by warm, where a lot of the nematodiruses hopefully will have hatched out, hopefully before the lambs have ever got to eating a significant amount of grass. Even the bigger lambs, I haven't seen much nematodirus at all so far. So fingers crossed. Doesn't mean we can stop monitoring, but fingers crossed.
I'll go back to the Cocci.
And the other one is Cocci. Now, Cocci normally happens first in 3 to 8 week old lambs. That's the sort of thing that you see on post-mortem. The feces is always loose, but it doesn't always have to be hemorrhagic. But a post-mortem will always tell you whether you've got Cocci and whether you need to treat the lot. Now we move on to adult sheep. And again, this keeps coming up. This keeps on coming up. I want to give you an example of why we cannot stop being vigilant for Haemonchus. This is a large flock, I should say 2,000 ewe flock, not 200, 2,000 ewe flock. They diagnosed Haemonchosis in last July for the first time. They treated it at the time. Then during the winter, all ewes were treated with Closantel in January, and later on with ivermectin at turnouts. 2 weeks after turnout, small number of ewes noticeably lost condition, turned pale, and 2 of these died and ended up on my table. There was dirty brown contents of the abomasum, as you can see on that picture on the left. The worm egg count was moderate, 1,300, makes you think of Haemonchus. So I'd taken some pictures, and what I did was I zoomed in on those pictures that I'd taken with my phone, and you can see there those arrows pointing to obvious adult Haemonchus worms in the abomasum. So it looks as though these sheep have turned out and been got by Haemonchus worms which have overwintered on the pasture. Now that means 2 things. It means we have to be very vigilant, because it can happen very quickly, because Haemonchus has a shorter pre-patent period than everybody else. But it also means that there are worm eggs waiting. If you have Haemonchus on your farm, there may be worm eggs now that are ready to go. In fact, your sheep may already have Haemonchus worms in their abomasums now. That's
the last slide. So, yeah, short and sweet, Ben. Thank you very much. I think Haemonchus is something we're going to have to watch, but we'll keep our eye on it for the rest of the summer.
It increasingly looks like the worm is adapting to our circumstances.
Our climate, yeah, absolutely. Thanks very much, Ben. Interesting stuff as ever. See you next month.
Yeah, will do.